Hey everyone, Dan at Bushcraft. Well, I am out here field testing a brand new piece of gear. This is the Onetigris mesh solo screen tent. Full name will be in the description. If you guys want to check it out on Amazon, because it's kind of a mouthful. They also make a two-person model that's basically, it's identical to this, just bigger so that two people can get inside. But with the onset of hot summer weather out here now and wanting to do more campouts and ATV campouts for the first time, just taking off up some of the remote logging roads and even trails with my ATV and setting up a camp, I wanted to do something that was light, and I didn't want to use a tent. So this thing weighs 1.5 pounds. That's it, 1.5 pounds. And I can actually make it lighter. I can take the little stakes out of here that it came with, because I already have stakes in my backpack with my tarp, and make this thing even lighter. So we'll say between a pound and 1.25 pounds. So I could tie this to the top of my pack if I want to walk somewhere, or carry it in my duffel bag on my ATV. I can even put this, because it's so light, a whole extra pound. I could tie it to the top of my shoulder bag, and it gives me protection from the insects. And that's the big thing about the summer out here. The nights are warm. In fact, some nights are really warm in July and August out here. There just isn't much of a cool down on a lot of nights. I don't need a tent. I don't want a tent. I just need something that protects me from the mosquitoes and the ants and the yellow jackets and the horseflies and the hornets. And the list continues. So I thought this would be perfect. It's just a screen, a mesh screen tent, period. So let's open this up. Now, there's no stakes with this. That's the thing. You have to supply your own. I mean, I take that back. There's no poles with this. There is these little bag of stakes that I mentioned, which you can, for me, I'll probably just toss these because I have better stakes in my pack already. But there are no poles. You have to use nature to supply poles. Unless you carry trekking poles, then you can stake them in the ground at the end, wrap your cordage around, and stake them down to the ground. Me, I've always got my tarp in my pack. I've always got a pouch with ridgeline, pre-made prusik loops, all tucked inside this little pouch. So I'm going to try to just put it on a ridgeline between two trees, with the idea that if bad weather were to come in or wind would come up, I could attach my tarp to the same ridgeline in an A-frame, and I could give myself a back wall if I just want to protect one side from the wind, or if rain's coming in, just make an A-frame right over the top of this. So let's open this up. That's pretty cool. Well, first time out of the package, so I had to take a minute to kind of look it over, but if I'm looking at it right, there's 3 loops across the top that I could run a ridgeline right through and set it up like I would a tarp off a ridgeline, stake down the 4 corners. I'll just use the stakes that came with it. What's cool with those, so these things probably weigh 1/2 pound, so that without these, that screen tent weighs like a whole 16 ounces. It's ridiculous. A whole extra pound, and I have shelter. I've got a sleeping pad on the bottom of my pack. I've got a snug pack jungle blanket in the pack. with my long sleeve shirt on, put my stocking cap if my head was a little cold, wrap up in that blanket on my reflective pad inside this. I am great for the summer months out here, and I will have added a whole extra pound. So I'm gonna move the camera a little bit, and I think a woodpecker just woke up and started knocking on the tree up here. But I'm gonna go ahead and first time out, guys, so we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna try to set it up on a ridgeline and see how that works. All right, let's give this a shot. So it looks like the only thing on the ridgeline might be playing with the height a little bit. First time I've ever done it, so I'm not sure where to set the height exactly, but once I have the right position, I'll be able to mark it on my body and I'll know, okay, run the ridgeline at, waist high, rib high, whatever. So that's going to be the experimenting part, it looks like, on the first time out. Okay, so I rigged the end up there with a trucker's hitch, but I left it kind of loose deliberately, again, because I may have to slide that up or down the tree. So doing exactly what I would do with the tarp. And again, I can see how that would work real well. I could take my tarp and run the ridgeline through the tarp like I normally do, right through the middle of the tarp, and stretch my tarp out across the top, flip it over so that I've got a wall on one side, and then if it got cold or wet or stormy, flip it over the other side, stake it down, and it would be basically just be open on the ends, but it would be completely protected from the wind and rain on the sides and keep it a lot warmer. But these warm summer nights, this is going to be cool. So I'm going to do like I would with the tarp and see what happens. Okay. And the other side. So that works real well. I just, again, same standard setup for a tarp. Trucker's hitch on the end. There's 3 loops on the top of that, actually made out of shot cord so that they'll stretch. And I assume so that if you're tying it to trees with individual lines, that's so you can stretch it tight, I'm sure. But let's go ahead. I'll just use some of these that came with it. They're close at hand, and I don't need to walk back and get my backpack. Let's see what we got in here anyway. Oh, well, hey, these are actually nice little steaks. So they're better than what I thought would be in here. All right, I'm gonna take 4 steaks. It comes with, let's see how many it comes with here. Oh, it comes with extra shot cord too. I just found that. So there's some extra shot cord in there. And there is 6 steaks and a whole bunch of extra cordage. These little plastic, technical term, plastic dealies. I hate to get all technical on you guys, you know, it's the language of bushcraft, but when you're out in the woods, sometimes there's thingamajigs and dealies and stuff, and you know, if you're a bushcrafter, you know, it's technical. We don't need to get into all that technical stuff. All right, guys, so I will take 4 of the steaks, stake down the corners, use my little Grants Force Brook hand hatchet for a hammer, and then we'll try it out. We'll see if I got, I think I got the height right. It looks pretty good to me. I can loosen the trucker's hitch and lower it a little bit or raise it a little bit really easy because I didn't make that real tight. Let's try it out. And again, this is a single person. This is a 1 person, so it's going to be snug. They make a 2 person if you want to double up. That doesn't look bad. Let's try the front. Okay, and one more around the other back corner. not bad. I've got a little bit of a wrinkle on the other side, a little bit of excess slack on the other side, but this side's nice and tight. So I'll play with that a little bit here, and when I'm done and after I get off the video here, and try to figure out exactly where I need to tighten that up. But I like it. All right, we'll try it out. So my sides open up here and here. Zippers are smooth so far. And that I like that. I like that. I actually like that. Again, a whole entire pound, so I can throw it on the top of my pack. I've already got a sleeping pad, jungle blanket. It works perfect in the little duffel bag I got for my ATV, where I've got a little air mattress and things to make it a little bit more luxurious. That is cool. That is really cool. And I see what I did. All I need to do is unstake the bottom and move the whole structure a few inches that way, and the wrinkle that I got in the back is going to be gone. It's more of a one side. It looks like one side is more straight up and down and the other side is more slope. So if I pull it back that way, I will have it tight all the way around. But that's cool. And the zippers, I'm surprised. The zippers, I was expecting them to snag, but the zippers are working really smooth. And it's got a little bit of a bathtub bottom, if you guys can see down around here. When that's zipped up, there's a little bit of a bathtub bottom about that high, so water's not gonna run in around the bottom. But you know, for summer, this is what I was looking for summer, is basically a screen house where I can lay in there and I can look out at the stars in any direction and get tons of airflow because it's so warm at night. And then, you know, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, when you get that little bit of chill, I'll have my jungle blanket, extra shirt, stocking cap in there, and then I can snuggle up and get warm. And if an unsuspected rain came in, I have my tarp handy so I can just throw it over the ridge line or attach it to the ridge line and be completely protected. And I imagine, so my 7x10 would easily stake down all the way around. I could get up underneath there and then stake it down on the front from the inside, and just the ends opening, it'd probably be a lot warmer in there. But there's plenty of room in there. It's made for one person, but as you saw, I can sit all the way up. I got plenty of headroom. I got room to stretch my arms out. I'm 5'10", and I got plenty of foot room. I would say a guy that's 6'5" or so could probably fit in there pretty comfortably. I like it. Now I'm going to have to test it, obviously. I'm going to have to sleep in it, put it up and down a few times, see if it holds up, if it gets any snags or anything. So if anything goes wrong, anything goes sideways, or I learned something new that I need to pass on, I will let you guys know. Otherwise, Onetigris is the brand. Here's their little emblem and name right there, Onetigris. I'll put the full name. It's on Amazon. What did I pay for this thing? I want to say I paid right around 40 bucks, give or take a couple bucks. So I think it's a pretty decent price. For summer, I'd much rather have this than a $40 tent. So I'm going to give it right now, pre-use, I'm giving it 2 thumbs up. I really like it. I like the way it's set up on a ridge line. The options, you could, if there's no trees, you can put a pole on each end, take the shot cord with some cordage and wrap it around the top and stake it to the ground. I've seen people do that on videos. But up here in the Ocho Mountains, you're hard-pressed to not find 2 trees. So anyway, Dan at Ocho Bushcraft, I'm going to give this 2 thumbs up, guys. And again, if anything comes up where, you know, a zipper starts sticking, it gets a hole in it, something tears, rips, doesn't work, I will let you know. But as time goes by, if you don't see or hear me complaining, that means it is working fantastic, and my 2 thumbs up recommendation stands. Thanks, guys. Take care.